All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I hope you're absolutely fantastic. Let's get into some market updates today. On the 2048, can't even believe it. On the 2048, I expected for the price to come down to that threshold over here where the mouse is, right? And instead, it came down to just beforehand. Now, one of the pains of trading, especially on the higher time frames, is that when you open up a trade and you see it almost reaching targets, and you choose not to close the trade because you might as well stick in with the trade as you've held the trade open for long enough, so you feel like I at least deserve for it to go to target. And then it stops around just beforehand, and then hours later it goes back up. It's extremely frustrating, especially when you wake up and look at your phone at 4:30 in the morning and you see that you've got a number of a pretty impressive set of profits waiting for you there, and you don't close the trade because you are confident that it's going to go to target. You put your phone back down, go back to sleep, and then sit down on the chart and see that it's done one of these. Like, super irritating. And the reason why I'm doing two things at the moment is because I want to test out having a longer term trade, like a 2048 trade open, whilst the AI operates on 30 seconds as well. So the benefit to that is if you got a good buffer happening on the higher time frame, so let's say for example in $2,000 profit on the higher time frame, and you're opening up maybe 2 or 3 trades on the lower time frame, and they go against which direction you said the price was going to go, then the drawdown from the 3 trades on the lower time frame gets negated by the profit on the higher time frame. So therefore, it's like a safety net of protection to have both of it going. So that's the reason why I've got it open. But just going back, and to make profits, but then going and just reminding myself as to how frustrating it is to make profits, but not make opportune profits. It's that opportunity loss that is just crushing for trading as well. So it's painful when you lose, and it's painful when you win, but not win to the full extent that you could have. So thank God for the age of AI, and thank God for automation, because man, it's been painful, and I'm really grateful to hand that over to intelligent machine learning models that can offset that turmoil pressure from me. So yeah, on the 128 last week I said it'll come down to, I was like above 99,000. Unfortunately, it only got to 100,300, so it didn't break that threshold. Can you believe it? And then it shot back up. So what that means to me is that right now I'm watching this oscillator over here on the higher time frame, and of course the lower time frames as well. So I think what transpired is that it did want to get to the target I said last week, like literally a week ago. I said this was going to happen. And it happened, just short of, just by like $300 or so, which is absolutely phenomenal, right? It's how do you get your head around that? It's crazy. Then what I think may happen now is that it could climb along this resistance, perhaps anchor in a bit, and then continue back down potentially. So we'll see if that happens or not. I think the focus for me is that it got to where I said it was going to go to. And now I'm just sitting back, sitting on cash. I haven't got any open positions, and just waiting for the continuity of this to unfold. So yeah, Let's have a look at what's happening on the 512. I think that was a very loose adjustment. Maybe 4 becomes in this location. So now let me just validate that. Confirm turning point. Yeah, that's great. So the 38 and 150 is where turning point 4 happened. So the guys who understand the strategy will know what I'm talking about. And that obviously happened underneath the right place on the sine wave. And there's a switch on the oscillator here as well. So lots of confirmations to suggest that this is the actual turnaround point. And from here, this then goes to turning point 5. So just real quick, it looks to me as if we're going to see that happening either there or there. I think the first one makes more sense. So I'm just going to take a look at it in reverse. And yeah. Okay, the software for some reason is buggy. So yeah, that's going to be the target on the 512. And then on the 128, target was reached, so it didn't quite follow the path to where I thought I was going to go, but it was kind of exceeded here on the 128. So I'll take it. But unfortunately, because I was focusing largely on the 2048, I don't necessarily benefit from that. There's pros and cons to lower time frames and higher time frames. So for the time being, I'm focusing on the turning points on the higher time frames, just so I've got that profit buffer for the more frequent trades, so I don't get into a deep drawdown. Because the last thing you want to do is work harder at your account, and then just a bad set of trades takes you beyond the rules of having a prop firm account and then closing the account. All right. It seems as if we're going to have a point above 3, we're going to break into a higher time frame. I mean, uptrend on this time frame. Let me just have a look at. Okay, I put the today's GAN results or GAN findings into our GPT that we created, and the conclusion was that Bitcoin was likely to go up. So quite stoked that it did. Now, I want to ask, does this mean that the Dow Jones would go up as well? And what I've got here is it working in line with each market's nodal points? Yeah, natal charts, that's the word. Gotta sometimes scratch the cobwebs off my brain to go back 6 years as to what's all the correct terminology is. All right, so just according to our experiment, it says that the Dow Jones is said to go up as well. So let's have a look at that. And it did. That's pretty cool because the information was provided ahead of time. I mean, sure, we said it was going to go up because turning point 4 was going to turning point 5. But the fact that it went up is still pretty cool. Or maybe I stand corrected, it's a turning point 6 to a turning point 7. But yeah, it went up, and I said it was going to go up. So just to clarify, it says here, the Dow Jones is likely to go up on the 6th of June, driven by the Mercury-Jupiter conjunction and Bitcoin's trend. However, its natal chart alignment enhances its bullishness independently. So volatility is possible due to Mars. So yeah, it said it was going up, guys, and that's exactly what it did. So it's really nice for the advanced people in the MTOPS community to apply this as an overlay to what the strategy already tells us. And so if you were curious around about these parts over here as to where price was going to go, and you had your turning points down and you wanted some additional guidance and confirmation as to where it's going to go to next, then that certainly could have helped you for sure. Now, I'm curious because, as you know, I believe in the quantum field and unity and oneness, and how we're all connected via quantum entanglement and all that beautiful stuff. So I want to know if this would have been the same for the JPY. Let's go, should we go Euro JPY or USD? I'm going to go with the pound JPY because I think it's quite a nice price. It's within the $100 or the $200, sorry, $200 range. So bigger swings basically of all the JPY pairings, and I like bigger moves because there's more profit involved. And look at that, it went up as well. So we had Bitcoin go up, we had the Dow Jones go up, and we had the Euro JPY go up. So how is that possible, I'll ask. And that goes back to planetary alignments, right? It's this stuff. We have the aspects of energy all pushing in a certain direction, and that then the quantum field reacts to that. All right, again, it says here that the Mercury-Jupiter said that this enhances bullishness, and it did the same for Bitcoin, and it did the same across the market. So a really cool add-on to have. And we looked at 3 prominent markets. I could continue, but this is all I need to see, and that's really exciting for me. I'm super impressed by this. The point I want to say as well is that Jupiter, Mercury on these configurations aren't there always, obviously. So this changes, and there's moves that happen. So should Jupiter, Mercury be what's pushing price up across the different markets, and then the aspects interrelation changes where Jupiter and Mercury no longer is in a well, what did they say it was? Yeah, conjunction. So when that conjunction breaks, then what could potentially happen, just by the way, and this is for all markets, is that this may continue. So as I said, we've got a oscillator that hasn't switched up top here, and there's still some room for price to keep going down. So the reason why it's going up, of course, as I made mention to, is because the Mercury Jupiter conjunction at the moment. But when that breaks, that's when this can slow down and then bang, go back onto the overall dominant trend direction. So that's just a kind of heads up as to why it's nice to check in with the cosmos on a daily basis, because even though the higher trends will agree, it can kind of break on the lower trends. So yeah, that's I think where I'm going to leave today's forecast. Today's Friday, right? Have a fantastic weekend, and